It's estimated that 92% of people can't stick to their habits. And like Big Sean says, you win some, you lose some, but that doesn't make it right. Hey guys, and welcome to this video on how to make habits stick. If you're new around here, I'm Daniel or Dan J, and I'm a doctor and a musician who's currently working in Bath. So recently I've been thinking about the TV show Avatar: The Last Airbender. And basically, if you've been living under a rock, then you might not have seen it, but it is a top 5 IMDb rated show excluding documentaries. And basically it follows the story of a young boy around 12, his name's Aang, and he is the Avatar, the one who is meant to learn all of the elements and fight against the Fire Nation. So that's air, water, fire and earth. And basically, when he was first meant to defeat the Fire Nation, he got scared and he ran away, was hidden in ice, and now he's 100 years later and has to find out how he's going to stop the Fire Nation, and he has to go about learning those things. Now you might not see the relevance in this in making your habits stick, but I've picked out 3 important points that we can take from the show. And number 1 is discovery and momentum. So of course, like I said, Aang got discovered 100 years later in the ice by another character called Katara, and at that point he realized that he had to go about and learn all the elements, and he had to find teachers to get it going. So what did he do? He got started right away. He made it easy for himself to get started because he saw someone who was doing the skill that he knew and he jumped on that. And in similar ways, we can make it easy for ourselves to get started. For example, if you're trying to go gym early in the morning, pre-uni, pre-work, why don't you lay your clothes out? Go to sleep in your clothes even if you're that needing the motivation, because once you get started and get that activation energy going, it's probably harder for you to stop than to keep going. You got to stop the negotiations and stop saying to yourself, oh, I'll do it this time and I'll do it this time, because we're all guilty of that. I'm guilty of it. When I've tried to start habits, I'll be like, maybe I can start tomorrow, or maybe if I do this little bit, and then you talk yourself out of it in the end. Just make it easy for yourself. Put those clothes on. Put that thing in your pathway. Like if you want to learn to play guitar, have the guitar next to your desk ready for you to go. So all you have to do is switch on that button and get going. It makes it super easy. And if there's habits that you want to stop as well, just make it hard for yourself. For example, if there's certain things that you want to clean up in your diet, you might just not buy that food in general, move it out of the way. And if you got some left in the store cupboard, you know what, you can either sit there and be like, I'll start tomorrow, or you can just move along, get it going, get it popping, and that's that. Number 2, throughout the series, Aang is always being told by the people he's on his journey with that he needs to get it done fast and there's no need for stopovers. There are some episodes in that show where Aang literally just goes to old places that he used to hang out with and just to meet his friends, and the other people he's traveling with are like, how are you using all this time? We need to get this done fast. But sometimes with these habits, we just need to not be so rigid. When you're starting a habit, you need to be able to give yourself some grace because it is new and you just need to get into that cycle first of all. You might have a habit like, oh, today I'm going to do 5 lessons on Duolingo, but you only did 1 lesson today because that was all you could get through, but you're just getting started. You're only a week in. So instead of beating yourself up about it, which may lead to you just being like, what's the point? I might as well stop now. Just keep going. That's still that bit of momentum and you're not as rigid, and so you can still feel like you've done a little bit, but you can build it up as you go along, and it doesn't have to be the be all and end all for that one goal. You can still give yourself some grace and then keep going with it. We will get back to point 3 quickly, but just to interrupt, like I said, I make music. Here's my latest song. It's called Glow. You've been on my mind, Dan J 2020. I see you perfect here. Filters don't need any. I was a dog once, sipping on Henny, but I never pass you up. Villain mode heavy. And essentially, Glow came out about a week and a half ago. And if you haven't listened to it, or if you have, go give it a listen, add it to your playlist, and share it with everyone you think would need this song, which is everyone you know. Back to the video. So then number 3 is track your habit. It can be so simple. I have the simplest habit tracker. It literally says your habit, you just hold down, you click tick, And that's all you need. That can give you that dopamine and that can get it going. I think habit tracking has actually helped me to start a few good habits just by being able to tick at the end of the day and say, I did that little bit of dopamine. I don't need to be scrolling TikTok. I just need to click and be like, yeah, I did that. Like before, when I started doing to-do lists, I would get to my to-do list and then I'd have a few tasks left and I'd be like, oh, I can do them tomorrow, whatever. When I started habit tracking a to-do list and at the end of the day, I would click, I did every task, it would be even better. So I'd start getting through way easier and it just made things feel better. And yeah, it's just as simple as that. You can have a simple habit tracker like that. You can have more complex ones which allow you to put notes in for every day. Listen, whatever you need to get that dopamine sparked and get the habit going, just do it. Like even with streaks on apps like Duolingo, I'm 1,400 and something days in and I'm still going, still counting, because I'm like, every time I see that streak go up by 1 day, it feels good. That's some good dopamine right there. And I think I'd feel worse at the end of the day if that streak disappeared or went down. And of course you have to get started to get to that point, but the dopamine of getting started, just track the habit. Notion, there's simple apps. Just find what you need to find. Even tell your friend and tell them to give you a gold star at the end of the day if you need it. But yeah, those are the 3 methods. So you got to get some discovery and momentum, find out how you're going to make that habit happen, and then get it started, make it easy to do the habit. Number 2, you're not going to be rigid. You're not going to beat yourself up if you don't do the habit to 100% in the first few days, and it just takes some time for you to get it up to the point where you think your habit is where you want it to be on a consistent basis. You're going to give yourself some grace and that will help you keep moving and help the habit to stick. And number 3, you're going to track it because you're going to see when you do it right and you're going to get that dopamine boost at the end of the day or whenever you complete the task when you tick on your habit tracker that you've done it. And yeah, that is all. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new around here, hit subscribe down below. And of course, like I said earlier, my new single Glow is out now. So link down below in the description, go check it out. And as ever, it's been a pleasure and I'll talk to you in the next video.